If you're gonna rebuild a Lambo, I say go full cyberpunk. Hi everybody, and a warm welcome back to Maple Leaf Customs in Switzerland. I'm Andrew, and on the bench today is a 1 to 40 scale Maisto Lamborghini Aventador LP 704. You can see this one is officially licensed by Lamborghini. It's pretty well tucked in there. Gotta love the lines on these, but to be honest with you, I prefer the old school Lambos, like the Mura. Those are classic beauties, and that'll be true forever. I'm not sure these new ones will stand the test of time as well. However, I needed a car with a futuristic look to it. This is my entry to the November Four Horsemen invitational on the theme of Cyberpunk. These are the Four Horsemen here. There's links in the description to all of their channels, and we welcome this month's guest horseman, Yaya's Garage Custom Diecast. He's a fellow Canadian. Only the December build remains in 2024 on the Four Horsemen calendar, and I hope you'll join in and participate. According to my wiki research, the Aventador is a mid-engine, two-passenger sports car manufactured and marketed by Lamborghini from 2011 until 2022. Named after a prominent Spanish fighting bull that fought in Zaragoza in 1993, the Aventador was launched in February 2011 at the Geneva Motor Show. It was designed to replace the then decade-old Murciélago as the new flagship model. By March 2016, Lamborghini had built 5,000 Aventadors. At the time, it was the second best-selling Lamborghini model ever. I'm taking care to disassemble mine carefully, as I'll use some of these pieces in other projects, but I'm afraid it's going to get well chopped up, and not all of these little parts are going to see the end of this build. You're probably asking yourself now, Andrew, what do you know about Cyberpunk? Not a thing. I had to go online to do some digging around, and I came across something called Cyberpunk 2077, which, like Fury Road, has its own stable of cars. I found one called the Mizutani Shion Coyote, which is not an easy name to remember, but I thought that's the look that I'll go for, and I figured the Aventador would be a good launching off point. I got some 3D parts from cults3d.com, had to modify them quite a bit to fit my Lamborghini, but these tires are my own cyberpunk design for future travel. There's so much detail in these parts, I really like these. But when I'm done modifying and adding on to it, it'll be recognizable, but it won't be exactly the same as the Cyberpunk 2077 car. It will, however, be as close as I can come. Time to take the jeweler's saw to the Aventador. I chopped off the front end and I've taped off the rear where I'm going to slice that too. There's a quick first look at how these might appear together although there's certainly more cutting and more mods to come. It's going to morph a little bit more as I move along. Here are some of the projects that you can anticipate as we close out 2024 and Season 4 on Maple Leaf Customs. I'll end with a year in review to remind you of everything that I did, but I want to take this opportunity to give a big thank you to all of my subscribers for helping me reach the 7,000 sub milestone. I guess I can set my sights on 10,000 now. The Lambo Coyote combo is starting to come together now. I've attached the front and the rear ends. But I'm going to realign the Lamborghini roof and move it back and a little bit lower. That's going to require a couple of new A-pillars, so I do that with some styrene rods, super glue, and baking soda for Kung Fu grip. This will fit the original windshield too. Today's community shout-out goes to the YouTube channel Big Elvis Diecast Review, where you can check out his awesome collection of die-cast cars. I left a link in the description for you to follow, and I thank you in advance for doing that, and so does Big Elvis. We appreciate it. So I found out that Cyberpunk 2077 is a 2020 action role-playing game developed by the Polish studio CD Projekt Red. The plot is set in the fictional metropolis of Night City, California, within the dystopian Cyberpunk universe. On the Cyberpunk fandom site, you'll learn that the Mizutani Shion Coyote, the car that I'm working on, is an all-wheel drive 570 horsepower two-door coupe. It was manufactured by the Mizutani Company between 2058 and 2069. The Coyote has been customized by the nomads to adapt the car for the harsh conditions of the Badlands. Thanks to its upgrades, this model is capable of going at full speed, even in temperatures above 135 degrees Fahrenheit. The primer always magically blends everything all together, doesn't it? This is how it looks now. Time to tape it up and do a little bit of custom painting. You see, I keep the original pick on my work table, but I'm going to modify it just a little bit. You gotta make it your own. So I've loaded up my airbrush with some Vallejo acrylic bright red. This will be applied just to the center section, which is the original Aventador. Before masking, I had shot the front and rear 3D printed ends with silver. Now there's going to be a striking contrast evident as I remove all of the fine masking tape. That's not lifted paint on the side vents, that's where I actually had sanded off a couple of super glue bumps before masking. Now I'm going to put a little bit of primer paint on those, but they won't be white ultimately in the end. Yellow side vents more closely follows the original Mizutani Shion Coyote pics. Just a few more paint features to bring some color and contrast to the otherwise all silver front and rear ends. I had to do some cutting on the original Aventador interior piece so that it will now fit inside the much shortened diecast body. Final fitting of the tires. And it's time for a couple of decals. I speak a couple of different languages, but Japanese is not one of them. I found these decals on a Japanese Cyberpunk website, so I hope they're apropos, and I really hope they're family friendly. These tiny Hella fog lamp covers go on the 6 lamps on the front. That's also true to the original Coyote pick. So although I added my own touches, there's a lot of authenticity here too. The last thing is to drop a custom cut bottom onto the casting. That's simply held on with some super glue. One last look at the Coyote that I was trying to emulate. Let's have a closer look at mine. This is what you get when you cross Back to the Future with RoboCop, I think. You get a cyberpunk baby. Not my genre. I tried to do my best. The cyberpunk theme was Tom's pick from Spark Syndicate. But it's all about trying new stuff, isn't it? This is my version in a 1:40 scale. Original casting, 3D printed parts, lots of greeblies, some scratch building and brush painting. So it's quite a combined effort of many different skills and techniques. Rolling into the future. This is my Aventador in its beautiful, glorious before state. And this is my Lambo Coyote combo from all different angles. You can catch that I added quad exhaust in the back, and I even painted the coil springs bright red. Lots of different features for you to check out as I pan across it. Maybe we'll all be driving something like this in a dystopian future. Thanks again to our guest horseman, Yaya's Garage Custom Diecast. This really is his kind of thing, so be sure to check him out and all the other participants. If you were one, please send us a glamour shot at that email address and be sure to use this hashtag in the title. I thank you for watching my video today. Please leave your respectful comments below. I reply to all of them. It's coffee time.